But there are like entire planes that have been created by devs in the community
From
from
scratch?
scratch. Yeah, so like I don't know if you've ever heard of like there was a plane that was in service called Concorde,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it was yeah, so that wasn't built into the game, but there's a dev that created it from scratch.
Okay.
Just gonna turn this off, that off, change the weather because the weather fucked me over.
Wonder how they go about that. If they get somehow they get like some sort of schematics or something, or I just don't know how they would base it because it's a
It's
real thing.
like really in depth. It's a proper simulator, so they get access to all kinds of stuff. I wonder if I have a checklist for this starting engine. Uh, I love that. Turn ignition on. It's not helpful at all.
Just turn it on. There's a button with the it's ignition.
There is not a button with the ignition, and I always forget how to do it. So sometimes I just press the button and it starts.
But
Um,
realistically, you can't just be pressing buttons, random
I want the
buttons.
APU on. No, that wasn't it. Master switch on. APU on. Okay, now if I go outside, it should be making a noise. Yes. Can you hear that?
Like a like a high pitch sound?
Yeah, like a kind of.
Like a
Like
oh yeah.
you are getting audio.
I can hear like when you're clicking the switches and stuff, and I can
Yeah,
hear some air noises
yeah. So
happening.
you see how there's a name off in the distance there? That's another player.
Oh, okay.
Okay, cool. So I did that. I want APU bleed.
Too bad collisions don't work.
Okay, that made a noise. This is where I get
Figuring things out.
confused.
That's what you want to hear when
This is
someone's.
this is where I get confused. Like, so there's only a few more steps, and sometimes I miss them. So let's go engine one on, and then let's go. We've got to go back here and go. Let's move this weather thing out of the way. We want to ignition. Now we've got to wait for this and see if this moves.
Are there like training or tutorial things as to like
Yes, there is.
just with the large amount of like switches and toggles and
Yeah, so there's a couple of channels that I've followed that um
have like basics or like instructions or something?
yeah, pretty much. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out what I haven't done here. Look, I'm just gonna do what I said. I'm too tired to remember this fucking default thing. Watch this, ready? Watch this is like when these are both green and this needle is up here, that means that the engines are on. There we go. I
Hmm.
cheated. Um, so there's a couple channels I follow that are like, there's one in particular that's a real pilot, like a real life Airbus pilot, that just kind of does like, 10-minute tutorials, like how to get the plane up in the air, like just basic stuff without running through all of the specifics.
Okay.
And so, like, just by watching a few of them, you kind of understand, like, oh, okay, to switch it on, I need to have this system on, and I can just go from there, or I can do it this way, or I can do it that way, or whatever. Um, but like I said, like there's basic ways to just get it in the air. So now I have to request take off
By basic,
to
do you
exit
mean just
clearance.
cheating?
Well, like what I just pressed, like yeah, is the easy way of doing it. Now I've got to request my clearance before I can leave. Climb and maintain 10,000 feet. So now I'm going to punch in 10,000 feet on autopilot. Okay, don't know what a lot of that means, but sure. If you don't respond to them, they get really sassy.
So just like real life then.
Pretty much.
You don't know what that stuff. I thought you would know what all of that everything means.
That's my flight number. That is also my flight number there.
And
Tamworth Airport's where I'm going to. Take off by runway 34 left. 34 is the runway heading. 1230 is the frequency I need to contact. So that is done, and now I need to go to Sydney Ground again. One of these two taxi, and you get to request a taxi.
makes sense. Because you'll be going on the taxiway and then.
Yeah, so this is pretty much like they're telling you to taxi to the runway and hold short of the runway, which means you can't take off until you get clearance. G, you got to take taxiway G followed by taxiway A, and then cross runway 25A, then take A6, the A6 corridor, which is all really confusing.
I was about to say that's a lot of directions, and then like.
And so you can get like charts online that have the airport map, and you can look at it to see which way, like where it is.
Yeah.
But there's a setting on here that I've enabled that does.
It just
that.
maps it for you.
Yeah.
I can
So
imagine
it's got
doing this for real, and you just get this verbal instructions, and then I can see like how sometimes you just crash the airplane because.
Yeah, pretty much. So now I've got to request pushback because you can't.
You can't just.
Reverse. Okay. And then I've got to go, so I've got to go down there. And yeah, so if you load into like a lobby here, pretty much like you would be somewhere else in this airport.
Oh, just like a random spot?
Well, there's a random over there. That's a random person. Dark Knight.
Can you
2A.
talk to them?
Look, on PC you absolutely can, because there is like an
Voice
add-on
stuff.
you can have. Yeah, so now I just need to. I can never remember which way. I can't remember if the steering's inversed or not. To go to the right.
Just like real life, I don't know.
It takes a while because you request it and then they do it, and then you have to. Okay, good. That's where I wanted to go. Is the stream okay?
Yeah, it's like, it's as good as like I don't actually
As
know
good as.
what would be tanking it though, to be honest. Well, I guess probably because you're playing it and you're streaming it at the same time, so that's probably what's like it gets a bit hazy sometimes, but like it's watchable. It's fine.
Oh, because I set it to a low.
Well,
I
no,
believe I did
like
set
it
it to a
looks.
low
I
quality.
think that's probably what's keeping it constant, like a good sort of stream quality. I think if you up it
That's
too much,
true.
right, then it will struggle
It's
more.
good do.
Yeah, you do you. I'll let you know if it becomes unbearable.
All right, now close that. Now, what I really want to do is this.
It's buffering now. Oh.
Did you hear it?
No, I can't. I can kind of hear it.
Oh,
I feel like the change in quality has
oh, did it really
a,
break it?
a little bit. Although
Let me
now,
turn it down then. I'll just turn it down because it's probably better that way.
their what is it? The seat belt.
Bing bong.
Is that all you invest in just for that?
Pretty much.
Get your pilot license just so you
So
can.
like you're supposed to turn all these lights on when you take off and stuff, but kind of don't bother because no
Glad.
one's really gonna pull you up on it.
I was about to say, glad you're just doing this by the book and stuff.
Well, that's like like sometimes I watch videos and people quite literally treat it like
A real.
they're in real life. Like they follow all of the regulations, they follow all of the requirements, they make sure that they've got their lights on at the right time and this, that, and the other, and then other people just do backflips in a commercial airliner.
I was about to say, listen, if like there's some issues on Flyboy, if there's issues like on a
Oh, did
plane,
you see it?
yes, I would rather have like someone who follows the rules rather than someone who's like, that's fine, we don't need to turn off all these lights, everything, we'll just we'll just wing it and hope for the
It's really
best.
hard controlling the plane for taxi because like once you push the engine, like obviously it maneuvers really slowly and turning cuts speed out of your plane. But then once you turn, like if you push the engines up really fast to get some speed so you can taxi quicker,
You control
it
it's a bit.
it's very hard to control. Then it turns really wide.
I don't think I don't think they would be moving this fast to get to the
No, no. There's a 25 knot, which is almost the same as 25 kilometer an hour um, speed limit.
you're going like double that,
Yeah, where's my speed at? Or airspeed?
more than that.
Yeah, it can't be far. Oh,
Man,
but see, look, see what I mean? Like I slow it down and it just.
if you were a real pilot, I think they would
Why
have to
am I
revoke
slowing
your
down?
license. Well, you probably have like the flaps and
Oh, I think I turned on reversed thrust.
the...
Yeah, I did.
Oh
I
my
did.
god.
Because if you hold the button that reduces the thrust all the way and then hit it again, it reverse thrusts you.
That seems like an issue. You're gonna have enough
No, it's
runway
for
to
landing. Like, I'm way hot on this. Holy shit. Brake, brake, brake. Oh shit. We're good. We're good. Okay, gotta put the parking brake on so I can ask for takeoff clearance. Go back to clearance. 24, request takeoff.
I think you're definitely flooring it a lot. Um, just so you know, there
And
is
then they're
like a
gonna.
slight delay on this.
Oh,
So
that's
if
okay.
if my response is delayed, that's the reason.
No, I figured as much. I'm playing it and streaming it at the same time, so.
I think that is also an option. I think in Twitch or something to delay the stream. I
The
think
Xbox app for Twitch is not that in depth.
complex. I don't remember if that's an option in Twitch itself, but no, that's fine.
Well, because like it's essentially a plug-in, like the Xbox is doing the
Yeah,
capturing,
yeah.
and then it's just linking it through your Twitch account. So I don't know why it's like a weird glitch that these arrows that you're like
Are
point
screwed
the
up.
wrong way.
Yeah, they're pointing to the other opposite direction. Do you have to actually ask for clearance to take off, or you just take off?
You can, like nothing's stopping you, but again, it's a simulator, right? So like it's kind of
Listen,
like
I'm
I played
just.
Farm Simulator. Like there was nothing stopping me from doing things out of order, aside from the fact that I was in Farm Simulator and wanted to do farming.
Well, you just hire people to do all the work, right?
Alright, got to do a final check. I need my flaps down to first setting, which they are now. And I need to be sitting here. And I need a little bit of zoom in.
I imagine it must be a lot harder not to be able to see outside of the plane if you're actually driving a plane.
Yeah, and so this is the thing, like I was saying to Alex, the reason why I wanted the PC was because like with this setup on the console, or even with on a PC with the mouse and stuff, like you've got to click things, you've got to reach for things, you've got to zoom in and like look away from that. And
Yeah.
on PC, there's a lot of peripherals where, like the thrust levers, for example, if you have a peripheral with that, then you don't need to
Oh,
be.
you don't need to look at it to. Yeah, yeah, that
Yeah,
makes
and then
sense.
a lot of the peripherals that come with like the thrust levers have buttons that you can map to this stuff, which is like your autopilot. So, like, you can kind of set your view like that instead of having to look
Down every time.
down every time and do all this weird shit. But anyway, that's okay. So, I guess I'll just take off.
Can't tell if this would be good in VR or not, or you just would get sick of
The guy
movement.
I was playing with plays it in VR, and he said it's quite fun. But obviously, when you're in VR, you've got to keep inside the cockpit, otherwise, it's just insanely nauseous being in virtual reality, flying behind
The thing, yeah.
the plane. Yeah. All right. Got to try and keep her on the runway.
I guess that is somewhat important to taking off.
Yeah, I gotta, and then I've got to gear up, flaps up. I need flight director, go pilot one. There we go. Ooh, that was intense.
Seemed
All right.
fairly straightforward.
It does, but like I've done it enough.
I think you're overspeeding.
Yeah, I'm not now. Oh my god, what's the autopilot doing? Jesus.
I think the autopilot knows what it's doing, right?
It's oh, I see. The flight plan's just a little wacky.
You didn't check the flight plan before you.
No, I did. I just didn't know it was. Uh. And so, like, sometimes when I get bored, I just kind of do shit like this. Like, I'll
Tilt
turn
the.
autopilot off and I'll just go. "Eee." How low can you go? How low can you go?
I was saying, like, how realistic is it in terms of like the. I don't know, like stalling and like all that.
Yeah, yeah, it's fully realistic. Like I've just turned the autopilot on and it's not pulling up. Oh my god, pull up!
Well, you can't
I'm gonna
expect it
crash.
to do
I'm gonna
everything,
crash.
right?
Crash. Crash. I'm gonna crash. I'm gonna crash. Oh my god. Ah.
I don't think I feel like the autopilot isn't designed to recover you from
Oh my god.
death.
I don't know if there's any lag to what just happened there, but
No, you landed. You definitely landed.
I gotta go to the bathroom. I'll be back in a second.
I mean, after that performance. Oh, yes, same actually. This one.
Are you back?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Um, yeah, it is pretty realistic in terms of like stalling and stuff. Um,
And crashing.
I
Clearly.
turned damage off
Oh.
for that specific reason. I'll show you if you fly one of the, it's really noticeable in the FA-18. And the reason is because they're not very aerodynamic. So if you're under speed or if you're pointing up when you don't have enough speed, it like it stalls, like you stop climbing and you start just falling out of the sky.
Very realistic.
And also like the way that they handle, like that Airbus doesn't handle, you know, it's not very nimble because it's quite big.
Yeah. No.
And then the like the smaller propeller planes, for example, handle completely different. Like because
Because they're small propeller planes.
I was like, fuck yeah, I want to learn how to fly an airliner. And so, like, that's what I put all my focus into, learning how to get that off the ground. And now I've been trying to learn these little planes, and it's just, I just can't do it.
I think
Like,
you started in the wrong spot. I think probably should have started small, right?
I did, yeah, cleared for takeoff. Okay, I'm going to change the weather, because you can change it real time. So, I'm going to move that back to daytime. Cool. Cool. I'm going to, so these um, aircraft, these jets. Are you still there?
No? Oh, sorry. I was just messing with some audio.
Um, Once you these jets, because they can go supersonic, if you pass through the sound barrier, there's like a sonic boom.
I was just waiting for it to happen. What speed does that happen at?
Around Mach 1.0. So like when the airspeed hits M, I probably shouldn't pitch up. Actually, I'll just pitch down because so it'll happen in like maybe Mach 9. There you go. And now you can't hear the sound.
Oh, is that how that works?
Well, yeah, because if you're traveling faster than the speed of sound, then you're traveling so you can hear the sound behind it, but not in front of it.
Okay, it's very realistic scientifically.
Mm. And so if I just cut the engine,
Like a really good maneuver that you would pull if you were flying one of these things.
oh, okay, now I'm falling out the sky.
Wasn't that the plan?
Yes. They had a bunch of Top Gun DLC that came out too, which has like a bunch of challenges on it, like trying to land one of these on a moving aircraft carrier, stuff like that.
Have you tried to do any of
I haven't,
those?
no. I could give it a go and see how it won't keep me in the air. It's just like
It's trying to
trying to pull
kill
up
you.
on it and it's trying to, yeah, and I'm losing altitude like crazy. My vertical speed is minus, is that 1400
It seems
feet?
very nimble though. It seems like you would
This
be able to
one's
pull out
nimble.
of it.
This one's very nimble. Oh, that was me pulling out of it.
Like you have a lot
So like
more
this is me pulling up right now.
recovery compared to the other.
Yeah, yeah. Well, compared to the other plane, I do, yeah. but this is as like I'm pitching up right now, and it's not doing anything because I've got no speed. If I hit myself, there we go.
Well, like not a lot of speed, but
Not a lot of speed. Landing these things is tough. Where's the airport?
I was about to say, go on
Over
then.
there.
I still haven't seen you land a plane. I
I
wouldn't
can land
I
the
wouldn't
Airbus
count.
easy.
That's not from what I saw. Is it just because it's so fast and nimble? Is that why it's hard to land, or?
Yes, that's it. Because if you cut the speed too early, these things fall out of the sky because they're getting their lift. They're generating the lift
From
that
the
these planes
speed.
get from the speed, not from the fact that it's aerodynamic. So let's see. Come on. There's the runway. I want the long one.
I mean, probably you want to land on the long one.
I'm coming in hot. I'm coming in real hot.
Well, you know, it's just gonna drop a lot of speed at some
Oh my
point.
god. Oh.
I don't know how you would land this thing on an air carrier though, because the air carrier is a lot shorter, right?
Yeah, because they've got a hook thing that comes out of them that
So
grabs a
that's
cable.
actually in the game, right? Like
Yeah,
actually,
it's in the game, so it's more of a precision thing. Like,
you gotta hook the thing. I feel like you were a bit off the runway there, but
yeah, I know.
and you like hit the
Because these ones don't have
sides
a
of the plane
reverse
a lot.
thrust. It's like the other planes. Um, when you land, you hit the reverse thrust, and all the power that's going to the engines gets thrown in reverse,
No, I don't know how
and
you would.
that's what slows you down.
How would you land this on a runway
This, you wouldn't.
then? Is it only
That's
designed
what I'm
to be
saying.
on a aircraft
It's
carrier
gonna,
then?
yeah. I've never done the challenge before, so let's see if I can do it. This was all
Maverick.
free. The Maverick stuff was all free, which
Oh,
I thought it was going to be
assume you have
paid.
to pay for it, right?
No. I don't know if it's because it's part of Game
I was
Pass or
about to
what.
say, is it
Yeah,
because of
it's
the
sort of
Game
free.
Pass?
Could be.
Although, do you usually get like DLC with the Game Pass? I don't think you do.
You don't
Do you?
normally get Season Pass with the Game Pass, though.
No, I don't think so. Is that Boat Simulator?
Boat Simulator.
Well, because I'm looking at like the aircraft carriers and the ships as well.
Oh my god, it's already going up. We don't want to go up, we want to go down. Okay, so angle of attack is way off.
I mean,
How do I know? What the fuck?
I think
Oh
if you
god, this is way too nimble. Oh my god.
look, if you can land on a runway, I think you can land on a
Oh my god.
I don't know how you would fly it from the cockpit
I'm way high.
with the reticle.
I've got to get that yellow dot that's at the top of the screen down to
The
where the
bottom.
green is.
Oh yeah, okay.
No, the green is like on center, and then on the left of like the little HUD, there's like a red arrow means I'm too high.
Okay.
And then if it's the circle, it means I'm on, yeah, so now I'm on
On
the glide
target.
slope, and now I'm too low according to the other one.
It's not as hard to fix though, right?
Fuck, this is difficult.
I was about to say there's a lot of like finagling it.
Yeah, and when these get, I'm high, okay. Oh, I am high. Uh,
I was gonna say, I wonder if you could land like a commercial jet on.
I died.
It's delayed. Give me time.
Oh,
Oh,
sorry.
oh, you're gonna make it. You're gonna do it. Oh, you just crash right into the front of the ship. Honestly, it was looking pretty good. You were maybe a little bit too low.
Who knows?
That was pretty close there. I honestly thought you were gonna make it there for a moment. It looked promising. You were like,
It's these planes when you release, like when you have an input, like you might push down on the stick, and then when you release it, it's so nimble and agile that it returns to where it was before. So you've got to keep like a constant
back
pressure
and
on it.
forth.
Yeah, to try and figure out like how much input it takes. And if you push down too far, then you're like essentially trying to micro adjust, and it's just really fucking difficult.
You overdo it, but like you're pretty dead on with the just needed a little bit higher.
I feel like I almost had it last time.
You did though. It was pretty much dead on, except for the part where you crash into the front. Uh,
Ooh.
the approach looks good. I can't tell what's happened yet. You definitely hooked it. Ah, you landed it. I didn't hear any
Hmm.
complaints. That was a pretty good landing.
Yeah, they score you.
Oh, well, you know, you landed it. I think that's the more important thing. Doesn't matter that
What
you
is
didn't
this
get
new band?
800,000 score. What the fuck is this based off of?
No idea. Friends, I don't know who that fucking begilded tube. Oh, I do know who begilded tube is.
Ex Ace Pilot.
And then it gives you like a reason
Oh,
why you got the score you did.
right.
So
What's your
like
report card?
I don't know if you can see it yet, but it's just like glide slope. So the amount of time
Oh,
spent on the ideal glide slope, the angle of attack,
I had a
and
feeling
then
it was something like that. Like you got to keep it within the range to keep scoring the points.
yeah, yeah. If you
Oh.
keep all of those within the ideal, if your glide slope's 13% of the time on the glide slope, you get full points. And so like, yeah.
Well, at least you caught most of the wires. That's pretty good.
Mm, true. Um, so
Catching
like they
one.
do have training on here for some of the planes, but then there's like community made training modules that you can download that come at a cost. But I downloaded one and it was pretty damn good.
I mean, if they're cheap enough, I don't see why you wouldn't to invest in.
Well, the one that I downloaded had like 10 different training modules and it had like a free PDF online that you could download that had like all the instructions in there so you could follow along,
As you go.
yeah, as you go if you needed to, kind of thing, and had a few extra resources and stuff in it. Never done this before. Let's have a look. I have no idea what you're looking at right now.
The challenge screen.
Oh, right, yeah. There's these low altitude challenges, which is just essentially try to keep as close to the ground as you can
Without
to score
hitting
the
it.
most points without hitting the ground.
Seems
And they
pretty.
don't give you a way, like they give you an end point, but they don't give you what route to take. So it's up to you if you just want to like, skim past a lake or if you want to go up and down and over mountains and
Oh, crash into the trees.
crash into the trees and doing all that kind of stuff. So,
How'd you get into the flight simulator stuff anyway?
what's that?
How'd you get into the flight simulator stuff?
It's just I've always been a nerd for um planes. Like I've been a
Aviation?
bit of a I've been a bit of a closet nerd for aviation. I was telling someone at work the other day, it kind of started like when I was a little younger, I went through a bit of a period where I was not comfortable flying,
Because it's
and
scary.
like I just recall people, I think it was my dad or someone saying something like, well, if you're not scared, if you're scared of something or if you're worried about something, like often learning about it can help with irrational fears and stuff. And so
Yeah,
like I
that
just
makes
did a lot of
sense.
reading and watching videos on YouTube about like, how do planes stay in the sky and like um how badly does turbulence impact planes and stuff like that. And just like slowly over time, with YouTube algorithms and stuff working the way that they do and all that kind of shit, like I just kind of um fell into being interested in it. And then Flight Simulator was like, there hadn't been a flight simulator out in ages. And then they announced one for the Xbox, or the new one was coming to the Xbox. Yeah, and that kind of influenced my decision to buy the Xbox because at the time I wasn't in a position to buy a PC.
Well, that's fair. Xbox is the next best thing.
Mm. It meant that I could play the game, and I was also like, I'm not going to build a PC around something like Flight Sim if I don't enjoy it. So I get use out of the Xbox regardless, whether it's Flight Sim or anything else.
I was gonna say, if you're interested in planes, then I don't see why you wouldn't
Yeah,
be interested in flight sim.
but it is a very niche thing.
I think if you have that sort of interest in aviation, I don't think it's too niche.
It was pretty funny going. I went to Adelaide for work recently, and um, like I was there with some of the higher up managers, and just being like, "Oh, sick! We're flying on an Airbus," and like just making comments like that, and they're like, "Fuck, how do you know this shit?"
No reason.
Bit of nerd,
It's not a bad
telling them all
like
the
thing
no,
to know.
no. But like and for me, it was kind of like, oh, that noise is this thing happening. So I'm not. It's not. At the time, being a little concerned about flying, it's like everything kind of freaks you out when you're in a state like that. So knowing what it all is and helps you make sense of it.
No, I get it. Like with the theory of flying, just kind of understanding all the processes and all what the different noises and things mean.
Yeah, and
It
it's
guess
like,
that
okay,
helps.
okay, we're hitting turbulence. I'm not gonna die. So
No, I guess like you do kind of get that sort of like from hearing all the plane crash stories and like the air crash investigation
mm,
things. But then like the
yeah,
planes are designed to fly, like they want to fly, so it's
yeah,
not like
exactly.
it's not a highly likely thing to happen.
Yeah,
No, there was a period that I
and
did
like,
get into
what?
the investigation stuff and like just listening to those sorts of podcasts about all the different
Yeah,
plane crashes and stuff.
yeah. I always make a habit of, I don't know what you're looking at the moment, but looking at like what you can see on this stream.
Oh.
Um, because I don't know how far back you are.
I think it's like a couple seconds. Well, we could probably test it.
I'm on the marketplace right now.
I can see the marketplace. You're on featured. You click the notification.
Oh yeah,
You're
yeah.
getting rid of
Okay,
the
so you're about maybe
downloads.
20 seconds behind what I'm doing.
20? That's a lot. Are you sure?
Maybe not. I don't know.
Alright, well, you're sitting on the marketplace screen. Uh, the mouse is moving a little bit. It's
Yeah, well, it's more like 5 actually.
moving a little bit. Okay, now you're hovering over the MG. Now you're off the MGH jet.
Yeah. So with the like almost everything you see here underneath, if it
It's
doesn't say
fucking
Microsoft,
expensive.
if it doesn't say Microsoft, right, then it's been created by someone in the community.
$40 for a yeah, but like, what are
So
they?
like,
That's
I'll
Microsoft
open one
slash
up
Mike
and
Johnson.
yeah, so I'll open one up to give you an idea. So they've completely coded this into the simulator. It doesn't
So
exist in the base game.
like,
So they get dev access as a community developer. They get dev access to the the game itself, and they build it in complete flight model. So like they have to build in the model of the plane and then test it in aerodynamics within the simulator
like the
to see if it
functionality and stuff.
functions. Yeah,
Okay.
to see if it functions as it should, and then they build in the like the flight deck, like with all the controls and stuff by hand. They build all that into the. It's mental. And so like you go, oh, $40 for a thing, but like you think like a group of devs put this together in their own time.
To make it very like realistic. But it
Um,
doesn't exist in real life, right? But
this plane.
technically it could,
What are you talking? What are you talking? No, 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 no. These are real planes that exist
based
in
on real
real
planes.
life
Okay, 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 okay.
that are not in the game. Yeah. Sorry, I should have explained that.
But they recreate. No, I just like thought you maybe you meant they made the plane from scratch and like.
No, and then there's
Uh,
things like the airports are built into the game and Microsoft go through and touch them up, but then like they have teams of people who go
Update them and
like
stuff.
community devs that go through and like specifically 3D map them and build all of the stuff
Okay.
into
Oh, but you
the
gotta
game.
buy the airport.
But you got to no, no. If you want to
Uh,
buy it, like it's from that particular dev. The airport exists in the game as it is, but like people go through, they make improvements. It's like mods. It's like a mod community.
okay,
You can get free mods on the PC, but marketplace mods are a little different. Like a lot of these are independent, like 3D design companies.
but is that just the layout of the
No,
airport
no, no. This is like
or like
internal um, things and 3D modeling of stuff that maybe isn't captured by the satellite imagery. Because the way that they make stuff in this game is there's the satellite imagery that's fed through an algorithm, and then the devs of the game go through and touch it all up and make sure it's correct.
yeah.
And so sometimes you get things that are kind of don't come through, and then they touch them up, and it's just I don't know. Like sometimes there's some really detailed stuff that comes through from the community pages. Yeah.
I'm just trying to imagine like all these different airports people are recreating. Maybe you just like buy all, but like
Well, I don't know. I guess the idea is like you probably buy the ones that are closest
closest to
to
you. Yeah.
where you normally fly, and if you fly, like I'm always flying out of Sydney on here. Oh, here's the I do want to buy. It's expensive. I do want to buy the Concorde. It's fucking cool.
Concorde. It does look a bit
Because I'm streaming, everything's taking forever to load.
uh, Concorde. I do recall that. Do they don't use that plane anymore, do they? In real life?
No,
They discontinued that, didn't they?
yeah, it did get discontinued.
Because it's, I don't know, I forgot what the reason was. It was like a big fat boy or something. It
It
wasn't
had a few crashes.
designed well to.
It was designed well for what it was. The crashes were incidental because I'm a bit of a nerd about this stuff. The crashes were the result of user error. The thing that put it out of commission was that it was the only supersonic
Jet at the
airliner.
time. Yeah.
It cost a lot to run in terms of, so it was super quick. It could get you from New York to the UK in like 4 hours.
Damn.
It cost a lot to run, but those crashes that happened, there was two of them. They happened immediately following 9/11,
Uh,
and so the entire airline industry was like
broke.
hanging by a thread essentially, and people were losing confidence in flying, and then you had that happen, and it was just like the airlines lost all confidence in it, and they just retired the plane.
It's a
So
shame
yeah,
that
and
they
so the thing
abandoned
I
it.
normally look for, what I normally look for and get excited about, because I'm a fucking geek, is what's that vintage?
About $60 for the Concorde there.
Yeah, but like there's a lot that goes into designing um, those planes.
I think it is a very popular plane in the aviation community there, right?
What's that?
Because it's so controversial, I'm sure it's a very popular plane with the aviation community.
Hmm. Just looking for. Is that it?
Trying to get
No, that's not it.
trying to gauge what plane you're looking for.
What's that?
What are you looking for?
I'm looking for these are what they call livery packs. So it's just the design, the exterior
Of
design
the
of the
plane.
plane, like the painting of it essentially. And there's one here got that I got really excited about because for a while there wasn't any Australian Airlines on here.
Oh.
And then I found
Um,
one the other day that had Qantas and Jetstar on
Spirit
it, and I was like, oh my god,
Airlines.
Qantas and fucking. Here it is. It'll probably load in a second or two. Yeah.
I'll give it a minute. Oh yeah, Qantas, Jetstar, Air Asia,
Emirates.
Emirates.
Hey.
Actually, I think you're right. It's like what, more than 5 seconds behind. Jetstar. I only just saw Jetstar now.
Yeah. And I don't know where Qantas
Uh,
is.
what do you mean? There's no Qantas?
There is. It is on the list, but I
To
don't
be,
know.
um, to
The
be.
pictures are out of order, and I clicked halfway through.
You have to click through all of them. I'm
There.
sorry.
There it
This
is.
is
I
like
got it.
dial-up internet loading.
It's really testing the Starlink, okay?
Clearly. Oh, it's the last one. Yeah, that definitely looks like a Qantas link. Was that always
Yeah.
Qantas link?
Qantas Link is that frustrated me. Qantas Link is their regional,
Uh,
um, like the Armidale to Sydney
yep.
leg, but then they don't fly these planes for the regional one. So I saw that and I was like, someone meant well when they made that, but that's not correct.
You would
So
you would think that they wouldn't just make it without knowledge, right? They would. Do you think they would know what they're
yeah,
doing?
well, like the developers that make these kinds of things are based elsewhere, and that's why they have all these packs that come out. Like they'll make a world pack, and
Oh, fair
they'll
enough.
in they'll investigate, like what airlines to put in and stuff.
Look, I'm sure you're probably not going to be looking underneath the plane that much anyway, there. Probably.
Yeah, that's true. Um,
300 megs of plane.
and there's one developer that when they release a pack of these things, like you might pay $10 for it or whatever, and then they continue to add to it over time.
Okay, it's like a season
And then,
pass.
yeah, like I bought one that had that has a bunch in them. It was North America because it was all that was there at the time. And anytime they release new like skins for the planes, it just updates on my end.
Okay. Oh, you got the Spirit.
Yeah, because it had American Airlines and they didn't have an Australian one at the time, so it was the only option.
No, that's fair. You got
But
the Delta
every time they release
Airlines.
new ones, that are part of the North America region, the like it just adds it to my downloads, and then I have it at no extra cost. So
No, that's pretty
it's not
cool.
bad in
You
that
got
aspect.
almost 3.5 gigs of plain skin, and
Well, it's that particular developer does two of each skin, one in regular and one in 8K definition.
oh, you gotta see the detail on those airlines. The present Spirit Airlines no longer running either.
Isn't it?
I thought they went broke.
Oh, they probably did, you know.
It's
I
hard
wouldn't
to
know
keep
these things.
track. Look, the podcasts I listen to, they're American, so they do talk about a lot of American
Oh, okay.
shit. So I don't know.
There's a DLC coming out toward the end of the year for this. That's bringing in helicopters.
God, I can't imagine how much extra that would. I
It's
just.
free. It's part of the base game. They're releasing it as part of the base game.
Oh, I didn't mean cost. I just meant how different that would be and how that would function into
Mm.
the airport. Or like, they don't really use helicopters that much at commercial um airports, do they?
Oh, they do. They just don't take off from the same spots.
I think it would be
So
interesting.
like, I bought this jetliner training thing, and it just basically has missions that are voiced over, and they have like checkpoints and tasks for you to do.
They're
Um,
telling you what buttons to press and what.
yeah, but it's actually pretty in depth. Like there's somebody who voices over the mission for you step by step, and like the button that you have to click highlights itself. So, and there's been a number of updates and additions to like additional lessons that have been rolled out, and like it's updated itself, and I've got all the every time there's an update,
You get the content. Okay.
yeah, I get the content. So I've been pretty happy with that.
Oh, is it good though? It's 3.6 stars out of 5.
It's like it's hit and miss with that stuff though, because like there's some stuff on here that gets rated really poorly, but it's actually not that bad. And so like a lot of the low ratings for that one that I purchased, I read some of the reviews, and it was like something stupid, like something hadn't been coded right, so it wasn't recognizing when you'd hit a waypoint. And like within a week, the guy who made it had fixed it,
Fixed it.
and like people still gave it a shitty rating.
No, that's
Um,
fair.
so it is what it is.
No, I think your
Anyway,
Qantas skins had a pretty high rating, even though it's a Qantas trash brand. Well, not trash brand, but
mm,
the other Qantas Link.
I think I might consider heading to bed.
Yeah, I was gonna consider that myself. No, it was good to take a look at Flight Simulator without having to download 100 gigs, because that will fucking take me forever.
It's worth it.
And look, I'll think about it, but I'd rather watch
Nah,
you fly the plane than actually fly
it's
the
one of
plane
those
myself.
things where it's like, um, yeah, like I was saying before, like it's cool if you can get into it, but there is also a bit of a
Learning curve.
not a steep learning curve, but like there is a little bit to understand about aviation and how planes work and stuff. Once you have that grasp, it's really easy to figure it out because the knowledge translates between certain like between aircraft to an extent, but
I feel
it's
like,
not the kind of game you download to just be like, oh, what's this?
yeah, I think you kind of have to put some sort of some investment into learning how to fly the planes and
Mm.
reading the instructionals and things.
Anyway, I'm gonna go to bed.
Okay, I'll look forward to riding James's Airlines next time. What was it again? I forgot.
Was it Flyboy or something?
Fucking even you can't remember. Yes, Flyboy. It's a very original
Yeah,
airline name, or I don't know what it is.
all good. I'll catch you later.
Alright, see you. I don't know how to get out of. Where
Yeah.
the fuck do I leave? Okay, bye.